I'm your host, Davida Shinsky, and you're listening to Live Without Limits, Reach Personal Success on a Daily Basis. Our purpose with this podcast is to work with you on any issues you have that affect your mental health. And we talk about psychology and relationships and personal growth. The purpose is to help you overcome any limiting beliefs that you may have. And today's presentation is titled Wealth Mindset versus Poverty Mindset. How can you develop a wealth mentality from daily finances? Understandably, we all have a lot of worry and anxiety around money. We get so many questions from our readers, of our listeners, about the world of personal finance, wealth, mindsets, financial motivation, and any other topic that affects your finances, which makes a lot of sense considering that your mental health and personal development can be incredibly influenced by how you feel about work with and experience money and wealth. Now, I'm just going to tell you a little bit of a story that I grew up in a home where my father was a professional and my mother came from a home where they didn't have a whole lot of money, and my grandfather came from a family that had their own business, but because he couldn't stand the weather in Savannah, he went back to Russia. And when he came back, he settled in New York City with my grandmother. But she came from a family with many issues, and she resented his family and constantly put into her children's head about poverty and being poor. And then my mother passed that along to her children. The problem is that she would constantly telling you how poor you are. And I knew from experience that we were not poor, but I had to depend on her for my financial security. And as long as I didn't do what she wanted me to do, and she felt that she had a right to abuse me, then for many reasons, she was refusing to help me financially when I needed it. So today, we're trying something a little different. Considering how much we focus on the topic of mindset, we thought we would share one of the most popular presentations on wealth mindset versus poverty mindset. So let us know if you find it helpful and you'd like to see more. So, wealth mindset versus poverty mindset, and how can you develop a wealth mentality? Wealth and poverty are a mix of work, ethic, education, opportunity, chance, and so much more. It is a very complex topic. However, since Robert Kiyosaki's hit book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, a lot of attention has been paid to the wealth mentality and its dreaded counterpart, the poverty mentality, or rich mindset versus poor mindset. So, in this presentation, we will focus on the financial mentalities and make sense of these concepts. So, what causes wealth versus poverty? Wealth and poverty are complex issues when it comes to poverty. In particular, there are many factors that are simply beyond individual decision making. That's true regardless of where you're studying poverty. Wealth, on the other hand, requires deliberate action to be built up. Apart from getting an inheritance, wealth is typically built up over time with some level of hard work, but always with a sense of mission. If you're wondering how this works, and the rich mindset purported to promote wealth, growth, continue to listen. Can I control my financial future? To some extent, the answer is always yes. However, there are several factors that might exist in your current financial reality that can hinder the process. Too much debt, inability to earn an adequate income, disabilities, injuries, and whatever. Because if you have a disability, you don't always have the same opportunities that everyone else has in the workplace. I know because that happened to me. And I couldn't find gainful employment and didn't have the money to even build a business of my own because it put me in a position of being dependent on other people, dependent financial responsibilities, and then many other factors. However, if you're in a position to earn a middle class income and aren't bogged down by debt or other financial stresses, you are already a candidate for becoming a millionaire. So, what does it take to embrace a wealth mentality and start getting rich? According to Tom Corley's research, there are a few key things that most millionaires share in common. Coming from a middle class income to in either earning a six-figure salary relatively early in your career or living very frugally, maintaining a low cost of living and saving instead of spending lavishly, saving at least 20% of your income, beginning to invest and save early in life and continuing to do so. Pay close attention to this one, and this is a key component to wealth mindset. What is a poverty mindset? The poverty mindset is a set of attitudes and beliefs that keep those who could potentially become rich in the middle or lower classes. The poverty mentality is essentially defined by pessimism, which in turn is caused by fear and non prudent decision making. One of the worst ways that can be manifested is by rationalizing poor financial decisions. For example, why should I invest now? It's not like I'll get rich. I might as well make sure I just enjoy my life and live in the moment. Most people will not get rich, but that is no reason to ignore tested, practical financial logic. You will probably not become the next Warren Buffett. So, what? That is no reason to spend lavishly, not work hard, not save money, and not invest. What is a wealth mindset? The wealth mentality describes the opposite of the poverty mentality. It is defined by optimism and prudent, wise financial decision making. If you describe to the wealth mentality, you believe that you will one day be wealthy due to your hard work and sound financial decisions. Understand that you will need to make just a moment.